Let's let Kyla in. Y'all can start letting people in now, if you can hear me. All right, we're about to be live in a moment. We are recording. Welcome. We'll get started exactly at 4:05. So just giving folks some more time to sort of come in and enjoy our semi-live band and get you a little swerve on as we're waiting. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining us as a part of our induction ceremony. Due to the pandemic, we normally do this in May, actually, and we did a semi-informal one with the group of scholars back in May during one of our May workshops. But we thought it would be great to formally do it this semester virtually and even be able to share this opportunity with a larger community. So again, we welcome each of you and thank you for joining us. I'm going to have an official welcome at this time by our direct boss and the person who has really been key to helping to make sure that we are moving in the right direction as the McNair Scholars Program. She was a former director of McNair, but now she's fully the director of Academic Opportunity Programs, which houses the TRIO programs at UMBC. So I want to introduce you to UMBC alum as well, Ms. Coris Davis.
Good afternoon, to make sure that I was unmuted. Again, my name is Coris Davis, as Mr. Hunt just told you, and I am the director of UMBC's Office of Academic Opportunity Programs. It's my pleasure on behalf of the Division of Undergraduate Academic Affairs and UMBC to welcome you to the Torch Induction Ceremony for the 29th cohort of the UMBC Ronald E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program. The UMBC McNair Scholars Program and its scholars exemplify UMBC's core themes of reaching together, claiming your future, explore every angle, and extend beyond. The McNair Scholars Program is a family, and that family extends to the greater UMBC community. The support of faculty and staff, and both current and former scholars, enhances the experience of the current UMBC McNair scholar. We reach together to support our scholars in achieving their goals of doctoral degree attainment, and more importantly, of changing the world. The most successful scholars form networks and support systems and maintain these connections throughout their lives. The hallmark of claiming your future at UMBC is grit. Grit is defined by hard work, courage, and commitment. We are living through times of unprecedented change and loss, but through this, the UMBC McNair program and its scholars are thriving, and it's no accident. It's the result of determination, thoughtful engagement, and commitment of both the scholars and the staff. It's not easy, but it's through the support they offer each other and the sense of community that they persevere. Our scholars are exploring every angle, from the role of the war on drugs and the condition of Baltimore communities in Baltimore City, of Black communities in Baltimore City, to investigating student satisfaction with online learning during COVID-19. The REM 29 cohort is already making its mark, conducting research that's relevant to our life and times. The world is changing, but it is also awakening. No longer can we sit by and forget the Breonna Taylors, the George Floyds, the Ahmaud Arbery's, and countless others lost, without examining the systems that perpetuate these murders. The injustice and inequity is not new, but diversity in the lens through which the world is viewed has the ability to instigate the change necessary to stop it. McNair helps to create the scholars who can change the world. The community and reach of the UMBC McNair Scholars Program extends beyond the proverbial walls of UMBC. Our staff and scholars, both current and alumni, make their mark around the country and around the world. Our scholars have presented research from Costa Rica to Puerto Rico, from Berkeley to Buffalo. Our alumni hold faculty positions at Miami University in Ohio, Michigan State, from North Carolina State to the University of Florida. As we reflect on the occasion of the induction of the 29th cohort into the McNair Scholars Program, we must also reflect on the man for whom the program is named. Dr. Ronald E. McNair's life was one in which he faced challenges and overcame them. Near the end of his doctoral program, Dr. McNair lost all of the data for his doctoral thesis, an accumulation of 2 years of specialized laser physics research findings. This material was the result of collaborations with top laser physicists. Despite this setback, he started again and produced a second set of data in less than a year. He never complained about the misfortune, and the second set turned out better than the first. This was typical of the way he worked to accomplish goals. As you pursue your academic endeavors and confront the hurdles that may seem insurmountable, I want you to remember the story of Dr. McNair. It is this perseverance that lies in each of you. You've chosen a path that will not always be easy, but you have and will continue to build everything you need to achieve your goal. If you stand on the shoulders of those who have come before you, and you continue to lift others as you climb toward your goal, you will arrive enriched and enlightened. We are elated that you have chosen to join our family, and I look forward to the contributions you'll make to the world. I now turn the program over to Mr. Michael Hunt, Director of the UMBC McNair Scholars Program. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Man, thank you, Ms. Davis. That was very fitting for us to begin. And I will actually continue where you just left off, remembering those who have come before us, the community of supporters that are surrounding us even now. And so it is customary in our UMBC McNair family that we take time at the beginning of our ceremonies to do something that is familiar to many cultures, but particularly as we think of in the African culture, there's this sense of pouring libations. Other communities take moments to think about their ancestors and even share food and leave food out to honor the ancestors. And so today, what I have here in the incoming cohort, I know the screen, because of my shared screen aspect, you may not be able to see it, but this is the vase that we used during our induction ceremony. And one of the things we did was actually we poured water into it, and you even see the water is still there, but it's just a little cloudy, because in this vase we poured, we wrote your names, each of your names, because we were actually had just begun being virtual. And so our orientation was actually held in our home, so we couldn't join together. So I wrote each of your names, placed it in the vase, and poured water as we named our ancestors and those who we wanted to give thanks to. Well, time has passed. The paper has sort of dissipated into the water. However, what has remained the same is the love, the kindness, the hope for a better tomorrow that we do have here with each other. And so what we're going to do in this moment, I want you to either in the chat or, because we are live, and the internet, the screen is moving. Because we are live, there you go. I don't know what's going on. You got it? Okay, there we go. Because we're going live, we want you to open up your screen and name the people. So just think for a moment. Think about the individuals who have gotten you through even just these past few months, right? We often, sometimes we go back to, we stick with our norm, right? The family members that are really close, but we really have been encouraging you to think about all the people that are in your community of supporters. And so I'm going to pour libation as we call out the name. They could still be here with us, or they could be gone into another land, as others might know. And so take this moment now to name those people, those ancestors, the community of supporters who have supported you in this moment.
Alfred Weems.
Yeah, you can call it out aloud, please.
Kevin Lloyd.
Jonathan. Alea.
Mary Christ.
Peter.
Mr. Hunt. Antoinette.
Sanji Jungha.
My parents.
Sanji Jungha. Michael Hunt. Chorus Davis.
Mr. Hunt.
Mr. Hunt and Antoinette.
Antoinette.
Dr. Delgado.
Dr. Maynard.
Hannah Tegla.
There's a song that Maya Angelou, I remember meeting her when I was a grad student. And I was actually leading worship for a service that she was speaking for with a group of community members. And there was a song that she sang that comes from the African-American tradition. And she was singing, and if you know anything about, I call her the prophet Maya Angelou, she often would use music to, and then tell her story. And there was a song that she was singing, it says, when it looked like the sun wasn't gonna shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the sky. When it looked like the sun wasn't gonna shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the sky. I remember her singing that and saying that, and the question that she asked us, she said, are you somebody's rainbow? Whose rainbow are you? We poured this libation because there are many folks who have been our rainbows. They are surrounding us day after day. And even now, they're lifting you when you thought you couldn't make it any further. The question is, are you somebody's rainbow? When it looked like the sun wasn't going to shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the sky. That is our prayer. That is what we share with one another. That's what we give in this community. It doesn't matter. The question is, are you somebody's rainbow? Ashe. And peace to each of you. I'm now going to turn this portion over to Diane Stonestreet. And I'm excited because Diane has joined us this year as not only a McNair ambassador or a McNair scholar, but she is our teaching fellow and will be leading and working with our scholars in many ways this year. She will now introduce our keynote speaker. And before she does, I'll let her give the details, but I am beyond thrilled to have our speaker, Dr. McMullen, here with us today, who's one of my classmates. Let me just tell you, she's, when I put the call into her, there was no hesitancy in her voice. It was an immediate yes, because of her love of UMBC, the McNair program, and she's been following y'all. So y'all think I'm crazy. I post on about y'all all the time on social media and things. And so these folks see the work that y'all are doing and are excited to give back and support you. And so I'm gonna have Diane to do an official welcome and introduction of the speaker, but I just wanted to share how grateful I am. So thank you, Kyla, for joining us and being with us today. Diane.
Hey, can everybody hear me? Yes? Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. We're excited to have UMBC alumna, Dr. Kyla McMullen, as our keynote speaker this evening. Dr. McMullen earned her Bachelor of Science in Computer Science at UMBC, where she was also a Meyerhoff and McNair Scholar. And she then went on to earn her master's and Ph.D. degrees in Computer Science and Engineering from the University of Michigan. And while earning her Ph.D., she was also a faculty member at Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. Dr. McMullen is currently the first and only woman of color to earn her Ph.D. in Computer Science and Engineering from the University of Michigan. And she's also a tenure-track faculty member in the University of Florida's Computer and Information Sciences and Engineering Department. Dr. McMullen has a personal commitment to encouraging women and minorities to pursue careers in computing and other STEM fields. Her research interests are in the perception, applications, and development of 3D audio technologies, and she's using this research to create realistic virtual environments, enhance data sonification, augment assistive technologies for persons with visual impairments, and decrease cognitive load in multimodal systems. Dr. McMullen has recently earned the National Science Foundation's Career Award to further support her research in this area. And she's also the PI of an NSF S-STEM award to assist with the financial load of graduate school for PhD students. So with that, I will turn it over to Dr. McMullen.
Thank you very much, Diane, for that awesome introduction. I also want to thank everyone. I want to thank Mike for inviting me to speak with you all. I want to thank the entire McNair team who've put all of this together for you. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to you all about, initially, so I like time travel movies. So I tried to think back at where I was when I was at your phase of the game. And I'm like, man, if I could just go back and tell myself some things, this is what I would say. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about might be a little bit scary, but it's not meant to discourage you. It's actually meant to give you hope and to give you courage, because sometimes life isn't all sunshine and rainbows, but you know, if you have some strategies and community, you can actually get through it. So I'll start there. So also I wanted to also shout out your McNair, everyone involved with McNair, because these people are committed to your success. So everything that I'm talking about here, these are things that they're going to help supplement in your lives. All right, so you've already heard my introduction, so we can just skip this slide. This is my lab. I have lots of PhD students who I advise. They are the real stars of the show. I'm sorry?
Share yours yet? Because we don't have yours up.
Oh, you can't see it.
Okay, now we do. Okay, sorry. Now we got you. All right, so go back to your beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, it was just this slide.
Okay.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay. But yeah, so this is the intro slide. You've already received the, the bio introduction, but these are the real stars of the show. These are the folks who make me look really good. These are my PhD students who do all of the work that I get to claim credit for. And also this, I also have a podcast, shameless plug, called Modern Figures Podcast, where we're telling the stories of Black women who are in computing, because if you let Silicon Valley tell the story, if you let other avenues tell the story, they would let you think that we don't exist. And we do, and we're telling the stories and, just talking about how people got into computing, how we got into these spaces. And even if you're not in computing, many of you here are in other STEM fields, other science fields, you can relate to this, because oftentimes you know what it's like to be the only person who looks like you in a specific space. So this is something that we're in season 2. We have about 26 episodes out now. Shameless plug, go listen, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, so if you let the internet tell you, this is who I am. So first, I all of a sudden appear in the GRIO, first Black female computer science person at University of Michigan. I'm shaking hands with the president. I'm in a magazine. I have a picture. I'm getting highlighted by all these different places like BET and Essence, and doing keynotes because all of a sudden I'm an expert in this. And, getting highlighted from my work at University of Florida. And, all of this looks like sunshine and roses, but this is not the way the story actually happened. So this is more so the highlight reel and not the real reel. So you guys are going to get the real reel. So yeah, the last one is the NSF Career Award. So it looks like, oh my gosh, the perfect path to success. And that's not what happened. So I want to talk to you all about the challenges I had on my road to success and the valuable life life lessons that I learned. And I'm gonna pause here to say that at UMBC, this is where I learned all of these really great life lessons from the people who are in your McNair program, the people who were put there to advise you on your road. Listen to them. You know, this is where I got my firm grounding to be able to persevere. So a lot of my difficulties came in graduate school and becoming a professor, but my strong foundation and backbone that I got at UMBC was what allowed me to persevere. So we're going to tell some stories. So the first one, the first challenge was, I'm only here on a technicality. I don't know how many of you feel like that. You may feel like, oh my gosh, they only accepted me because they needed a woman, or they needed a this, they need a person of this race, or a person with this ability. But there's a thing called imposter syndrome. So if you've heard of that, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't heard of imposter syndrome, it's literally a documented research phenomenon where people who are from, diverse backgrounds feel like, okay, my own merit didn't get me where I am. I'm an imposter. They're going to find out. They meant to select the person on the spreadsheet right under my name, not my name. You start to tell yourself all of these things that are just not true about why you are where you are. So imposter syndrome was huge for me. I looked around. I was like, I don't see anybody who looks like me. Did they mean to have me here? So that was one huge thing. So the lesson there is that you have everything that you need to be successful, and that this is your road and no one else's. Just because no one else is on the road that looks like you, guess what? You're charting your own path and your own territory. So, don't be worried about that part. So this is something that I would just encourage you to just keep in your mind. The next is, I go through my academic program, at University of Michigan, and I'm on academic probation after the first semester. And, that doesn't even sound like me. Like, I had never gotten a grade lower than, I think I got maybe 1 or 2 Bs at UMBC, like never had any sort of, issues with academics. But guess what? Number one, I didn't take the advice of people who had been there before and said, hey, you're just entering grad school. You might not know, you might want to take 2 classes instead of 3, slow things down, get acclimated. And I'm like, oh, you don't know who I am. I'm from UMBC. You must not be experienced with McNair scholars, with Meyerhoff scholars. You don't know anything about me. So yeah, I didn't listen. So I ended up taking courses that were just not optimal for my success at all. So the lesson here definitely is, listen to people who are there to tell you how, what to do. People are put in place, your elders. And I'm not saying you have to do exactly what everyone tells you to do, but make sure you listen to people who have done things before you so that you're not just out there all willy-nilly and just trying to act on your own. And as the great songwriter said, hold up, sit down, be humble. So you can't be too big that you can't accept some advice. You can't accept someone else telling you what you may need to do. You can't get so inflated in yourself that you just think you can do everything and you don't need anyone, because that could not be farther from the truth. All right, the next part. So I'll end this story with, got off academic probation. I was able to, figure out a way to, to succeed in my classes. I started listening to people. And after this happened, I failed my qualifiers. So I don't like putting blames on other folks. My part of it is that I was not getting the advice that I needed from my advisor, and I didn't see that soon enough. So I ended up, just really internalizing a lot of that and thinking, okay, this place is not for me. Nobody here looks like me. Maybe it's not meant to be for me. So this was I took a really big blow to my ego. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I not supposed to be here? Qualifiers in grad school are basically what allow you to go to the next step. And I started looking for other jobs. Like, I was just completely about to check out of grad school. But again, the value of community. I was able to go around and talk to the people that have been put in place to help students with their success so that I could figure out a really good option. So what ended up happening was that I utilized another NSF resource, which was the AGAP program. And AGAP had facilitated advocates in each department, where everybody had a faculty member they could talk to, you know, that wasn't their advisor, to get through some issues. So I ended up talking to our advocate, and he was like, okay, well, some of your research that you're working on, I can help you to dice through this to figure out your quals. I got through my quals. Then he said, hey, I enjoyed working with you. Would you like to join my lab? And I was like, sure, I like working with you too. So, you know, that was how I got out of that piece. So the whole point here is that if I had just accepted that fail qualifiers as my defeat and something that was more so like just a defining moment in my life and just internalize it, I would have never gotten here. So I reached out. I did not run from community. I wanted to make sure that I was definitely grounded. Oftentimes people, when you face any sort of hardship or anything that happens, people sometimes tend to isolate because maybe it's saving face, maybe they don't want to talk to other people, but isolation is the biggest killer when you're going through something hard. You have to, even as hard as it is, as much as you don't want to talk about it, you need to get out and make sure that you seek community, because other people can sometimes help you to piece through problems that you can't exactly figure out on your own. And I definitely learned community at UMBC. It was hard. It was definitely hard because who wants to go around being the person who failed something and telling people about it? But at the end of the day, every time I've opened up about something like this, some sort of failure, I've always received help and been able to get out of it. So here, don't seek help, don't internalize everything. Community is key. It should say is there. All right, challenges on the road to success. So perfect. I have a great dissertation advisor and we're doing research, we're publishing papers, we're going to conferences like Batman and Robin. We're doing a great job. So then all of a sudden, it's time for me to defend my dissertation. And everybody has, you know, my parents and my family and friends, they have flights booked, hotels rented. And the date, actually, Monday would be the anniversary of that, because I was supposed to defend the Tuesday after Labor Day. And I find out on the Monday before Labor Day, I get an email from my dissertation advisor, and he's like, call me. And apparently he and another committee member had a conversation. They were on campus on the holiday for whatever reason. And a committee member refused to attend or approve my dissertation material. And he had basically a problem with some of the terminology that I was using, and had never said anything before then, but that was probably the absolute lowest point in my life. Like, who wants to tell everyone that they have invited to do something? Hey guys, turn around, get your airline refund. I'm not graduating right now. And I'd already taken a job at Wayne State University. You know, I'm like, all right, I'll take this job while I'm on the market. You know, this was probably the absolute lowest point of my life. And here is where I definitely wanted to give up. I just said, you know what, this is so embarrassing. I don't want to do this. And long story short, I ended up just changing the terminology. I couldn't kick him off my committee for political reasons, but ended up changing the terminology, making my dissertation background and introduction about something different, but it took a full academic year to do, because I had another 40-hour-a-week job at a university that was about almost an hour from my house, you know, so it was a lot. But, and I don't say this to scare you, but in this point, my community, I leaned on so much for this. You know, my friends were like, all right, one friend still flew in and was like, I don't care, I'm still flying in, we're going to figure this thing out. And that's it. And this is where I really just witnessed the value of community. If I had spent my entire time just kind of in a shell, closed off, nobody would have cared about me to do this, or no one would have known about it. So community is definitely key. So all that to say, clearly I defended my dissertation, passed with flying colors, minimal things to change. So then I become a faculty member. And as many of you who work in labs may know, when you're faculty, in order to get research done, you have to get grant dollars in order to, you know, pay grad students, to pay undergrads, to pay yourself sometimes. So Funding challenges. I probably submitted 10 proposals before the first one was accepted. And I'm not even lying to you all. This is I printed out my FastLane printout sheet. So all of these, each column, and it's in reverse chronological order. So the bottom is the first, but literally there's so many that got submitted before the first one. And then you learn something, and then you start hitting even more. So the take-home point here is when I was able to become successful here, again, community and reaching out and being able to humble myself, to ask for help, to be able to receive that help from people, and then things just took off after that. But if I had let all of these, you know, the no's in the beginning, just all of a sudden dictate my trajectory, I wouldn't have got the yeses later on. So I don't want this to scare you. I would love if you all pursued a career in academia and in STEM, but it's not sunshine and roses, but there is help. So just in case you zoned out through all of that, we just sum up the whole thing. This is what I would tell my young retriever self or any other young retriever. 1, this is your journey and no one else's. And I kind of liken it to a race. So in grad school, there were many points where I wanted to run away, like physically run away. And I started like a running group with some friends, and we ran in a park, and it was good that the park had a nice little loop because I can't run too far if I run in a circle. But then all of a sudden our group decided, hey, we should probably run a marathon, half marathon. So we signed up, and the best metaphor I've ever had for my path is, you know, I'm training, I'm running, and I go and I'm just going for it, running my first half marathon. And there is an elderly man who is speed walking past me faster than I am running with my whole heart. And then that was just a huge metaphor to me, because we both ended up at the finish line. We both completed, but it showed me, don't compare yourself to other people. I wasn't a runner. This man had probably been running his whole life. It was used to, you know, being active. So, but at the end of the day, there's no shortage of degrees. We're not competing for a finite number of resources. Everyone who crosses will be a winner. So don't look over at the person in the next lane and say, oh, I'm not doing this like so-and-so. This person published a conference paper before me. I'll never do this. This person's got a research lab before me. They took this class before me. Like, just don't compare yourself to other people. This is your journey and no one else's. And at the end of the day, nobody will remember all the details. They'll just remember you started at one place and you ended at another place. The next, you are everything enough, and everything is some item in the set of you are smart enough, talented, you are working enough, you are everything enough, period. Otherwise you would not be here. So there's no room for doubt in any of this. As I said before, don't compare yourself to others with my analogy with the running. Listen to the people who are in place to help you. I can't stress this enough. Lots of us have been through this. Mike was one of my, colleagues and friends at UMBC, and we took our computer science class together. We struggled through our intro to computer science class. Like, we all got grades close to our ages in the first, I won't name names because he's still at UMBC, but, there were people who were in place to help us. I remember going to Mr. Tolliver in the Meyerhoff office and think, like, what in the world, what's happening? And he's like, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? I'm like, oh, no. Okay, so we figured out a way to get through it. But the people who are in place, number one, they wouldn't take this job if they weren't passionate about it. So they are there to help you. They've been in your shoes many, many times. If they don't know exactly what to tell you, they can point you in the direction of someone else who can help you. So definitely listen to these folks. Don't internalize anything ever. And that's just like a mantra for life in general. Oftentimes, something that happens to you may not have anything to do with you. That person may be having a bad day. There may be some underlying departmental politics you don't understand, but don't ever take something negative that happens to you as a direct reflection of you, because it's not. And I promise you, it's not. Don't run from community. I know I'm an extrovert, so for me, I oftentimes seek out people, but I hear that there's this thing called introverts, and I'm trying to understand what that means. But it sounds like introverts are people who to be by themselves, but even if you're an introverted person, try to at least have, 2 or 3 people that you can count on to be part of your community as you're going through this, because isolation is a dream killer. Once you isolate yourself from resources, from help, from encouragement, and it's a negative spiral that often ends in a not good way. Lastly, you are your brother/sister/siblings keeper. Everyone who is in your cohort, make sure that you know who they are, you know how they're doing, because the saying is, the rising tide raises all ships. So when all of you are successful, then, one of you successful, you bring everyone else up. So make sure that you're checking in with each other. If you see someone sort of slipping into an isolation, just make sure you check on them. It doesn't have to be anything official like, I heard you're isolated, what are you doing? But it could be hey, do you want to have a Zoom call and chat about things? And it's especially important now that we're doing everything digitally and it's harder to get together physically. So being in touch with people, if you see someone's missing from a Zoom call or something you expected them to be at, send them a text like, hey, how's everything going? Everything all right? Okay, so I would just screenshot this, put it in a capsule, send it to 2005, and just be amazing. So with that, I would like to thank you all for having me. Thank you to the McNair team for allowing me to have this space. This is my contact information, and I believe we're open for questions.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Kyla. Oh my goodness, you're amazing. Thank you. We do, yes. Are there questions? I'm looking in chat. If scholars, if you want to unmute yourself, if you want to say anything at this moment, please do so.
I'd like to say something.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay.
Introduce yourself, your major, and your year for me, please.
Sure. So good afternoon. My name is Brian D. Hansen Jr. I'm a senior information systems major. Also have had a similar path to you, Dr. McMullen, from being in the Meyerhoff Scholars Program and the McNair Scholars Program. So your story definitely resonated with me. So thank you for being here and just being able to share your story with all of us. My question is, when you needed to rely on community, who was your first go-to person? And if you were in a space where they weren't available, what did you do to find a solution or find another way to have support?
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So I would say for community, I think it's important to have multiple layers of community. So having near peers, people who are going through the same thing that you are at the same time, people who are slightly ahead of you, who may have already gone through it. And then I also like to have people who are removed from the situation that can think about what you're doing objectively. So let's say like a near peer or an older person wasn't available, I would try to explain the situation to someone who might not be familiar. And oftentimes there's a simple solution that you just didn't think about because, you're like, no, but that's how this works. And someone will just, say something in your life like, oh, wait, I never thought of it that way. So I guess that's probably one of the benefits of being an extrovert is that I, make note of who I meet all the time. And, by having a large group of people that I can pull from, then, it kind of helps in making sure that there's always someone available to talk to. And it doesn't have to be anything official, like, excuse me, will you sign this form? Will you be on my community? But, just knowing people and keeping note of where they are in their process and different things that they've done will make sure you have a good amount of people. And being in McNair, you've already, you have that on lock because you have such a community of people who are in school with you, who are older, who have graduated. So yeah, I don't think you'll have that problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions or comments?
I would like to ask a question if I can.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Zaira. I am a 4th year and I'm an English major with a focus in communications and technology. So my question is how to utilize community to best get through grad classes. I know they're a completely different world from what I've heard from undergrad. It's definitely harder. And I was just wondering how you use community to push through those.
Yeah, that's really important. With grad classes, I think the difference between undergrad and grad, mostly with the coursework, and this is just for computing, I'm not sure what it's like in other disciplines. I feel like undergrad was more like regurgitation. Tell me what I just told you. And in grad school is more so, tell me what I told you and then apply this thing to this new thing you've never seen before. So oftentimes it requires like a more in-depth knowledge of the subject area. And that's why oftentimes you only take, 2 or 3 classes in grad school as opposed to, 4 or 5 in undergrad. So for me, the community that I had when I was in grad school taking classes, I went to see who was going to office hours. So I'm also office hours, I took as my personal appointment with with the professor that other people just happen to attend. But once you continue to go and talk to the professor, you start to notice other people in the class who are also trying to do the same thing, trying to get a really good grade. So I would just befriend those folks, like, hey, what are you guys doing after this? Let's go get some lunch and talk about the problem set. I know that academic integrity is a thing, so different professors have different rules for how much you can collaborate with other people in the class. So I would definitely first ask, what are your rules for collaboration before you, begin discussing things with other people in the class. But for the most part, the people who I spoke to were just people who were in the class that I met who seemed to want to, have a community.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a question. First of all, thank you so much for that. That was so inspiring. As a social science person, I usually don't expect those from STEM to have a message that can carry over, and yours absolutely did. So thank you so much for that.
Introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Hi. So my name is Tanya Ramsey. I'm last year's teaching fellow, a REM 27 scholar, graduating senior in social work and psychology. And the question that I had was, you just mentioned the application of knowledge in grad school, and I was wondering how you manage the balance between breadth of knowledge and depth of knowledge when battling imposter syndrome when you're surrounded by professionals that have that balance already.
Whew, yeah, so that's that's definitely a huge question. I can first tell you what not to do, and then I'll tell you what I did. So once I got to college, once I got to grad school, apologize. There was so much work, and I decided I could not spend 8 hours sleeping. Those 8 dormant hours were not important. I needed to stop sleeping and just do work. Don't do that at all. So the first way that I thought, to tackle all these things was just to not sleep and constantly do work. But that might work when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, but you do get older as time progresses in graduate school. And that's just not an option. I started hallucinating in class. It was a whole thing. So definitely don't do that. But the good thing about graduate school is that you only have 3 classes to focus on. You may or may not be in a research group, but the breadth and versus depth is sort of innate because you're not taking 5 courses that you need to go really deep in. It's 3 courses, and oftentimes it's pretty manageable. Sometimes some people take 2 courses in research just to make it manageable. But I'm glad you brought up imposter syndrome as well. Once I got to grad school, I remember being in databases class, a professor said something, somebody answered. I'm like, I didn't even know that was a question. So, it was very intimidating because some people had the material before because they came from other countries where this was taught in undergrad. And this should not be a deterrent to you. The same way that they learned it, then you can learn it now and pick it up. So I don't think it was really difficult to manage, but time management definitely really helped, being able to sit down, allocate hours to studying for that course, and it worked out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I have another question, but I know I already went. So if anyone would like to go before I ask, I don't mind.
I have a question. Hi, my name is Sofia Encarnacion, econ and math double major, junior. For me, my biggest fear of going into grad school is knowing that the higher you go in academia, the more white and male dominated and wealthier the people are around you. So how did you find people you could relate to or people you felt safe around.
That's really interesting. So Sophia, you're absolutely right. You know, the higher you go up, the less you'll see people who look like you. But I didn't necessarily, so two ways. The first is that I sought community outside of my department. So we had a group in grad school where all of us were like the only one or the only ones in our department. And so that's how we had our community there. But also in my department, I didn't feel as though I needed to find someone who I related to. I brought my culture to the department. So, you know, it was fun to be like, oh yeah, this is what, you know, I remember we had departmental teas all the time. We would have times where people brought in food from their culture, but I took it as my chance to educate people about myself, because we can't take, you know, white, straight, male, you know, with ability to be the, you know, the standard in all of this. There are people who are different, and why not educate each other on each other so we know, you know, just how to deal with each other, how to communicate. And oftentimes I find that we have a lot more in common than we have different. So I usually, I didn't realize this, but I subconsciously with every person I meet try to figure out something that we have in common, like something that it might be the food that we like, an activity that we like. But once you're able to just strip away all of the outside stuff, we're a lot more similar than we are different.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, and we'll close now with Brian unless there's any others. I don't want to miss anybody.
I had a quick one.
Yes,
Sorry.
go ahead, and then we'll end with Brian. Go ahead, Ashley.
I just wanted to say I'm very, very fascinated, and the reason why I paused was because I wanted to Google you. I don't know how to word this question, but like, I really, really, really have always felt the need to like break my family's like generational curses, and I want to be the first Salvadoran to do a lot of things. And like, I don't know how to, sometimes I have this like thing where I like completely separate myself from my accomplishments, but I know they're there. And I just want to know, like, how do you bring yourself back and like really let yourself, like, I don't know, like enjoy what you've created? Like, you have come so far. Like, how do you just let yourself appreciate yourself? Like, be in that moment and like congratulate yourself, because it's really hard.
No, thank you for that question, Ashley. And I'm glad you asked that, because I'm the worst person at that. To me, when someone, like I have a friend who's always like, do you know my friend is the first? And I'm like, I just want to hide and walk away and sort of, you know, just hide in the bushes somewhere, like that Homer Simpson meme where he like fades back into the bushes. That's what I want to do all the time. But in doing that and just, you know, just reading about things, like that's one way that we just self-sabotage. You know, why not celebrate ourselves? You know, it's really awkward. Like for me, getting praise is really awkward to me. And I know it's the same for lots of like minority communities. So I try to like normalize it and try to get used to it, because you don't want to get a big head. So you have to sort of stay in this range where, yes, I know that I'm a normal person. I want to stay humble, but I also don't want to put myself down where I don't think I can do anything. So operating in this range kind of helps. And I would say academia in general helps you with that, because there's one day where like, today's awesome. You know, you guys all think I'm great. And then I'll get an email that's like, your paper's been rejected. I'm like, oh okay. It's a little humbling, but you know, I'm both of those people. I'm great, and I'm the person who gets their paper rejected. And just normalizing that as your story. You know, you don't have to put the things that you've done down in order to be perceived as, you know, a person, you know, a regular person. It is, but I definitely understand what you mean, like, especially relating with family. Like once I got my PhD, oh, here comes the doctor. I'm like, no, I'm still the same person that you guys know. But, you know, then another cousin got a PhD and I'm like, great, you've normalized it for the family. Everyone can, you know, kind of understand. They still do it, but hopefully, yeah, I don't even know how to get them to stop. But in your own life, don't feel like you need to separate from your accomplishments. That's part of who you are. Our failures are part of who we are. And like existing in both of those spaces, I think, is how you deal with it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Welcome.
All right, we'll close with Brian.
Sure. And again, Dr. McMullen, I think that was such an excellent response just for like normalizing both aspects. My question was related to something you had answered earlier, just so, time management. And I guess I just wanted to get your perspective on, with managing your time, how do you keep in order like the values for where you spend your time? So like for me, I realized I really struggled with prioritization, which is basically what I'm saying. And I've gotten a better grasp on it now. And I feel like I'm going into graduate school a little bit more focused, and I'm just trying to practice that. But I would love to hear about any best practices that you've learned, or some, you know, failures that you've had, or successes, you know, whatever you think would be best.
Yeah, no, time management is something that like I hold near and dear to my heart. I have a whole presentation on it, but if I were to skim it down to the main pieces, is that we have a finite number of hours in the day, and we have a finite amount of energy in our bodies every day. So the first is looking at the way that you operate. So are you better in the morning versus the evening? Put the things that are the most important. So for me, research is first, and then teaching, and then service. And that's just because the university has deemed it that way. So for me, I'm most productive before noon, before 2 o'clock. So I put like everything important, like all the research stuff happens at that time. Then after 12, I'm having my meetings, things that I don't really need to have my brain on for. That's what then when I class prep. So just literally writing down all of the hours in the day and just blocking off, you know, this is when I work on this is when I work on that. And I also do a weekly plan where, so first I do a semester plan where I'm like, this is what I want to accomplish this semester. Then I break it down to what needs to happen each week in order to get to that plan. Then you get a reality check, because sometimes, I'll just say all the time, the first time you do it, there are more, there's more hours of things you need to do than actual hours in the week. So then if you've already prioritized the things that are important, you can start to knock off, delegate, dismiss the things that aren't. So I would say just, you know, starting there. And, you know, I have my schedule goes from 8 o'clock to about 5 o'clock. I try not to work past 5 or 6 if I can help it. I try not to work on the weekends if I can help it, and just making a realistic thing. Put food in there. You're a person, you need mental health. I like to dance. I like to be active. So my gym stuff is on there. My dance is on there. And those are unbreakable appointments that, you know, I have there, because it's really easy to make to fill up 60 hours in a week. And then at the end of the week, you just want to die and you never want to do the schedule again, versus making a realistic one where after I teach class, I need a nap. Like I really need a nap. And so I take a nap, and then I wake up and I'm refreshed for the day. And just normalizing rest. I don't know what it is about academia, but it seems like they want us to be robots, and I don't function well as a robot. I would be the worst robot. I'd be the robot that got fired for not doing their work. So, you know, for me, I need a nap. So yeah, and I can send you the slides that I have, or maybe Mike can invite me back for maybe a session, and I can do my time management seminar.
Almost
that
definitely.
would be amazing.
Definitely. Yeah. count that down. Y'all show some love. I don't know if you've been watching the chat. They've been chatting it up, you in the chat.
I gotta look at it.
So let me just tell you how grateful we are. So thank you. Round of applause. If y'all, I don't know what you want to do.
Thanks for having me.
But it's definitely an honor. And you know, at some point, when you said his name, but I think it is fitting for us to call out Mr. Tolliver.
Yes, definitely.
Because
definitely.
I think that Mr. Tolliver, I talk about him often, and many of them know him and don't know him, and because of the role, and he was me in this role in essence. Yeah,
I love it. So we have an S-STEM grant where I'm like, I get to be Mr. Tolliver. He was so wise. Like all the
yes.
doing the I don't even go into it, but like I didn't realize. I was like, man, that guy was amazing.
Yeah, and I find myself often some of the things he is saying, and even the way he looked at me. Sometimes they say I look at them crazy, and it's just Mr. T. That's Mr. T happening. But it's nothing but love, and you know it's love, and so I just want you to know, even in this space, that I feel his presence, and grateful that is something that also unites us together. So thank you. Y'all will be hearing from her. I'm not going to tell you exactly what yet, but there'll be some more opportunities next year that she will be joining us and doing some things. So thank you again, Dr. McMullen.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
We are going to continue on. So Antoinette, if you want to share your screen, and I believe we're going to the pledge, if I'm correct. This is our official time. So normally, if you can see, I have on my McNair pin, and each of you will still receive a pin, those in RIM 29. And so we will make sure that you get it. There's an activity that you'll be able to get your individual pictures taken in October, and we'll make sure that we have pins available to you then. And normally this will be, well, the next part of it, you'll have a chance, you'll be pinned, so we're doing something different. But as a part of our time, we ask you to share the McNair Pledge. This pledge was written years ago by some national McNair, directors. So though there was a group of directors who got together and said, you know, we do this induction, we bring students in, but we need something to bring us all together. And so all across the country, this pledge is used during inductions and during different ceremonies to salute the McNair program, and also to call to task you and your responsibility for being a part of this community. This is larger than just UMBC. We're grateful to be retrievers, but we are also a part of a larger community. And we stand on the shoulders of those who've come before us, and we know that we are the shoulders upon whom others will come after us. And so at this time, there is a video. So instead of doing the pledge individually, we asked our scholars to submit a video of them doing the pledge. I'm grateful for Ting, who's a McNair ambassador, as well as a RIM 29 inductee today, who put it all together. And so we have most of the scholars represented here. And so we will now take a moment to watch this video. Hello, I am Michael Hunt, director and an alum. RIM 13, because we don't see, it's not moving. And is it, we're not seeing your other screen. So it's still on the PowerPoint slide.
Sorry, y'all. I'm not really the best at this, so just bear with me.
You got it. You're doing it. You're doing it. You make. Hey, we almost there. We're coming down now. There we go. And you click the share the sound one thing too?
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm gonna play it. Just you give me your thumbs up if you can hear it.
Okay. Hello, I am Michael Hunt, director and an alum, RIM 13 to be exact, of the UMBC McNair Scholars Program. I now ask that the newest cohort of UMBC McNair Scholars speak boldly and affirm the National McNair Pledge as we officially welcome you into the McNair family.
I, Siani Batten.
I, Ashley Bonilla.
I, Joanna Hernandez.
I, Roberto Osorio.
I, Aya Elagabi.
I, Ting Huang.
I, Sofia Encarnacion.
I, Jamaica Wiggins.
I, Malaysia McGinnis.
I, Adriana Boyce.
I, Victoria Hoya.
I, Zaira Garala, will strive to honor and respect the legacy set forth by Dr. Ronald E. McNair and former McNair scholars.
I will work earnestly toward the realization of my educational goals.
I will embrace the challenge of attaining baccalaureate and post-baccalaureate education through hard work, perseverance, and persistence.
I will strive to overcome any obstacles, barriers, and limitations that might hinder, derail, or prevent my educational attainment.
I will endeavor to achieve excellence by conceiving of and believing in
excellence in my personal, professional, and academic endeavors.
I will observe high ethical and moral academic standards.
I understand that I must be trustworthy, honorable, and noble.
Respect myself, my peers,
and the people who contribute to my personal and academic success. I will graciously extend myself in service to the uplifting of future TRIO students and promising scholars.
I will be part of the solution and not the problem.
I'm a McNair scholar and I believe in the words of Dr. McNair. Whether or not I reach my goals in life
depends entirely on how well I prepare for them and how badly I want them.
With this pledge, I hereby accept my responsibilities and privileges of the
Induction to Ronald E. McNair Post-Graduate Achievement Program.
We officially welcome you to the McNair family. Like we say, once McNair, always McNair. Welcome.
Yes, yes. Oh, y'all just have my heart right now. Okay, let me calm down. Breathe. Oh, this is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations to you all, and welcome. Welcome to the McNair family. We're excited. I think I'm now, am I turning it over to you, Antoinette? Awesome.
Okay, screen sharing, y'all. Not my thing. All right, so in true McNair fashion, as you all have heard, that was the McNair pledge that was stated by the incoming Room 29 McNair scholars. So just as a reminder, it is a pledge to yourself, it is a pledge to the program, and it is a pledge to our community. So in community fashion, we will invite returning scholars to share words of wisdom with our incoming scholars, first starting with Alea Lewis. And for all returning scholars, be sure to introduce yourself and then give your words of wisdom, and we'll continue on. Alea?
And before she goes, I am gonna, so think about this. So this is how, be always ready. Adriana will start us off, but each of the scholars who are coming in, what I want you to do, just one word, and Kyla, thank you for actually putting this in my spirit. Honoring your strength. So we often talk about who you are and what strength you bring to the community. I want you to think about who you are and just one like phrase, not even a word or a phrase, so not a sentence in that sense, but of your strength. What strength are you bringing to the McNair Scholars community? Okay, so just think about, you can go back to your strength quest words that we've used before, but something about you that is important for the community to know and to embrace. Is that good? Okay, awesome. So Alea, you'll go, and then Adriana, and then Room 29, you'll follow that pattern. Thank you.
Can you all hear me? Awesome. Hi everyone, my name is Alea. I'm a senior computer science major, psychology minor, and I'm a REM 27 McNair scholar. And I have the pleasure of welcoming Adriana. So to you, Adriana, my fellow apartment RA, welcome to the McNair family. I'm so happy that I get to welcome you today, and I'm so excited to see your growth as a scholar and a leader. I know your future is super bright, and I can't wait to see everything that you accomplish. And if you ever need any help along the way, whether that's for your academic career or navigating your personal journey, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or the rest of the McNair family, because we got you. So once again, welcome.
Thank you so much, Alea, for the kind words. My word is going to be passion.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Alana Fallis. I am a REM 28 scholar, third year biochemistry major and psychology minor, and I'm introducing both Ashley and Sophia. So for Ashley, I have these words for you. I am so glad that you get to join our wonderful family. If there's anything you ever need throughout this experience, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. I used to always hesitate about reaching out, and I just want you to know that we're all open and we're all here for you. I'm always here for emotional, academic, and research support in any way, shape, or form. And thank you for being so awesome and for being a part of this program. And then for Sophia, welcome to this family. I'm so happy that you get to be part of our crazy and wonderful program. And I'm so excited for you and for what this program has in store for you. And I'm very excited to see you grow throughout this program. So welcome both of you. I'm very excited.
Thank you. My word is restorative.
Thank you. My word is, I can't stop thinking. I don't want to steal anyone else's word, but I'm also thinking of just very, very excited and full of energy. I can't pick one. I'm just so full of energy and excitement right now, and I feel so welcome. So thank you so much.
All right, so I'm here to introduce Malaysia McGinnis. Again, this is Brian Hanson Jr., I'm a REM 26. So to Malaysia, welcome to the McNair family. And here at McNair, we're about getting the most exposure we can to benefit ourselves as scholars, each other as a community, for the staff and the program, and especially for the legacy that we're all helping to create. If you ever need anything, please do not ever hesitate to reach out to me via band, phone call, anything. If it would be better to talk on the phone or to get to know each other over Zoom just because of the current circumstances, that's completely fine too. McNair for me has really been such a great community and such a great experience to help me grow as a scholar. And I know that it can be the same type of experience for you. And always remember that we are in this together and I'm more than just a resource to you. I wish you the best of luck and the best with your academics.
Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate the kind words. For the word for me is that I'm thinking of is generosity.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chase. I'm a senior, and I'm an anthropology and history double major, and I'm a REM 28, and my message is addressed to Jamaica. Welcome to the McNair family, Jamaica. I already know you are someone who will accomplish great things, and us in the McNair program will support you on your journey. Being a McNair is more than just about being an individual scholar or a Ph.D. It's about being a part of an incredible network and a legacy of people who will aid you when you need it. If you ever have any concerns or questions, always feel free to reach out to the program. We're very excited to have you as part of REM 29.
Thank you, Chase. And the word that I would like to use is perseverance.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Diane Stonestreet. I'm a REM 28 McNair scholar and I am a junior mechanical engineering major. And my words of wisdom are for both Heriberto and Aya. So Heriberto, welcome to the McNair family. I'm really sorry to both of you that we can't have the ceremony in person, but I know that you're always active in band, asking questions and trying to connect with and support other scholars. So just know that we all see that and we all feel that and we all appreciate you. And I can't wait to see the wonderful things that you're going to accomplish within this program and beyond. And Aya, again, welcome to the McNair family. We're excited to have you as a member of our community, and we can't wait to see how this program can support you to be your best self, and also the wisdom that you're going to share with future cohorts and truly everyone you interact with. And as everyone has said prior, if either of you need anything, not only myself, but everyone is available here for you, okay?
Thank you so much, Diane. I guess I'm supposed to say the word that I'm feeling right now. I think it's moved. I'm moved by all of you right now.
Yeah, same. I want to say thank you. Appreciate it a lot. And the word I'm going to use is diligence.
Hello, my name is Hannah. I am a REM 28 year scholar, and a biology major. I am introducing Siani. So welcome to the family, Siani, officially. With classes, a McNair assignment, or anything happening with your own personal life, there's always someone here for you. We're just a click, a text, an email, or phone call away. So never be afraid to reach out. We have your back.
Thank you, Hannah. I really wish I could hug you all in person right now. I'm trying not to ugly cry, sorry. But my word would be support.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jumo. I am a senior computer engineering major student, and I am RM 28. Today, I'm going to be introducing Violetta and Victoria. So for Violetta, what I have to say is, welcome to the McNair family. We definitely can't wait to see what you will be accomplishing, having throughout your academic and personal journey. If you ever need any help or anything in general, like feel free to reach out to anybody. As we all said it, like we're all family and we're all in this together. So do feel free to reach out to any one of us. And for Victoria, what I have to say is, again, welcome to the family. I am glad that you were able to kind of jump in over the summer to help the program and also expanding like your knowledge and background about the program and what kind of work the ambassadors for the program do in the background. Being part of the McNair family means that you always have someone that you can reach out to, any one of us, and we can help you with anything that you ever need, no matter what it is. It could be maybe you end up with understanding something or a class or anything. Just again, feel free to reach out to any one of us. And I definitely can't wait to see what you accomplish in the program and out to see your growth into a scholar. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. The feeling I'm feeling right now is love.
And Violetta is not with us today, but we do send love her way as well.
So I am also going to be introducing Joanna. Unfortunately, Mohammed is Mike is not working very well, so I am going to be doing that. So welcome to McNair family, Joanna. You have already kind of shown your enthusiasm and dedication to the program. We definitely can't wait to see how your journey in the McNair Scholar program will progress. If you ever need anything again, we're kind of saying, I'm kind of like saying it over because it's something that we all say. Again, this is family. If you ever need anything, reach out to any one of us. You can reach out to me. Like no matter where, I will always pick up my phone or send email you back, whatever it is. Like feel free to reach out.
Oh, thank you so much, John. My word would be grateful.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tanya Ramsey. I'm introducing Zyra and Ting, and I am absolutely so excited to do so. With both of you, you've just shown so much that I admire. Zyra with your thoughtfulness and your critical thought, and Ting with your ambition and outgoing personality, both from the interview process till now. I am beyond delighted and proud to have you both join in our McNair family. I've seen you both grow so much, and now you're members that are deeply embedded with our, I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up a little bit, within our community. And you've already made such significant contributions. We're so grateful to have you and your dedication. May McNair become your refuge, your support, and your stage. I am no less than fully confident that you will go far in McNair, UMBC, and in life. And I'm so excited to welcome such top-tier individuals into our family. I can't wait to see what this journey brings you. And even though I'll be graduating this semester, you can always reach out to me, and I know that you all are already relying on each other.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I miss you so much. And my word right now is I'm feeling very wholesome.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Your words mean a lot. My word is resilience.
Awesome. Before we recognize the pre-McNair students, let's just give a round of applause, or, hit the button, do whatever you want, jump up and down, for the REM 29 cohort here. We are so proud of all of you and glad to have you as part of our community. As y'all have been at it since, April. But we wanted to take this moment to show our love to you even now. And we also want to recognize our pre-McNair students. These are students who have come into the program, and for whatever reason, they are not McNair scholars at this point. However, they are making their way there, and it is our hope, and I would say would be excited and thrilled if we will have them next year, and we will be inducting them as McNair scholars in the spring. And so Wisdom and Anu. So we want to welcome both of you to the community. Anu, are you on? Do you want to give your word? I know Wisdom is having some challenges right now and isn't on, but if you want to share your word, that would be great.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anu, and I'm a junior information systems major. I'm really excited and I really love the community, literally love everyone and how supportive you are. This is the first time I've ever been in a community like this. So it feels so great knowing that everyone is just there and willing to support you and willing to hear you out. I hope to be a McNair scholar officially, and I'm really excited for how the rest of this semester goes. And yeah, that'll be it.
Awesome. And she's also serving as our ambassador for social or public relations with emphasis on social media. So you'll definitely hear from her in many ways. So we're excited to have you on our staff too, and really getting to know you in multiple ways. So again, welcome to the community. And Antoinette, we will close with Antoinette, but one of the things I wanted to check, are you saying anything about our guests that we have? Or should I say something?
I have a little something, but you can go ahead.
Okay.
No.
Huh?
So you can go ahead if you like.
Okay, I just want, there's quite a few folks and mentors and deans who have joined us on here. And so just note that we are grateful, and we call these folks a part of our community of supporters. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you, as well as members of our advisory council. I'm a newly formed McNair advisory council that just started in June. And I'm telling y'all, they have been phenomenal with already meeting, already setting up things. Some of the things you saw today was because of feedback from them as well that we're doing. And so just know that we are indeed grateful to all of you, and parents, siblings, all that might be there, just saying thank you as well for joining us today. And now Antoinette will give us closing remarks.
Awesome. So we are excited to formally have you as a part of our community, where you now have moved from student to scholar. Your time, your energy, your effort toward your goals are things that will set you apart from your peers. So to REM 29, to pre-McNair, this is the beginning of an amazing journey where you are surrounded by such a supportive community. While this ride may seem long and scary, know that you are not alone. You have your family here, you have your friends, you have your mentors here, and your McNair community surrounding you in this particular moment. Always remember why you started. Think about what gets you fired up, and know that there will be a time where you get to share that with the world. So be sure to enjoy tonight. Bask in this accomplishment. It is something worthy to be proud of. I am excited for what is ahead, and would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight and for those who was able to make this evening possible. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody. We ask that you drive home safely. I've been waiting to say that for a long time, y'all. I've been holding that one in. Yes, enjoy the day. Scholars tomorrow, you know, we have boot camp. And so for those who will be joining us, Jawan, can you do me a favor and put a poll into chat, into band for that ends tonight so that we know exactly who's coming. So everybody needs to do that so that our planners sort of can be prepared for that for tomorrow. And so if we can do that, that will be great. Am I missing anything? Is everybody good? All right. Well, do have a great day and we'll see y'all soon. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.